Are we in a tech bubble? Well, I guess my short answer is no. I do not believe we are in a tech bubble. In my opinion, the last time we saw a tech bubble, as I mentioned earlier, was 1999, 2000. PE ratios around then got up as high as 200 times earnings in some cases, in some places. And today, when you look at, let's just say, the NASDAQ, which is primarily where most tech stocks trade, it's primarily a tech index, although there are other sectors that trade on the NASDAQ as well, like pharmaceutical. But when you look at the NASDAQ, for example, it's trading just under 30 times today, which is about average. You look at the NASDAQ, on average, it trades in and around 28.5 times earnings, and that's where we sit approximately today. So when you want to compare this to the bubblicious times of 1999 and 2000, I believe there really is no comparison. I think companies have gone higher. There are some companies, as I said, are more expensive than others. We just spoke about in the previous segment about some names that have moved higher but still represent good value. But in my opinion, tech is not in a bubble, at least not as yet. Our first chart here is a long-term chart of the NASDAQ. And you can clearly see in 2000 that I guess, not so large blip as compared to the couple of blips on the right-hand side of the chart. But that was the 2000 or 1999, 2000 tech bubble crashing or bursting. Those were the Nortel days. And unfortunately, many investors remember those as not such great days. And the good news is, obviously, markets do rebound, and the NASDAQ and the tech space in general has rebounded significantly from there. When you look at the far right-hand side, you look at how well tech did in 2021, reaching a high point, then came down significantly in 2022. As I said, fourth worst year for the S&P 500. Tech lost 30%, actually a little more than 30% that year. And then in 2023, NASDAQ rebounded, having one of its best years, making more than 30% return last year. And here we sit today at all-time highs. So are we in a bubble? Well, in my opinion, if you want to call the recent run-up in tech stocks a bubble, I'll argue we're just getting back to where we were in 2021. And if you look back over the last few years, one can make the argument that we really haven't gone anywhere. We just made back what we lost in 2022. And now, for the first time, we're moving forward once again. So I don't think we're in a tech bubble, in my opinion, with PEs trading a lot lower than where they were during the last time we saw a bubble burst. I think you'd be hard-pressed to make the case that tech is in some sort of bubble that is just waiting to pop. We have a second chart here. It's more a chart on artificial intelligence. It's actually an ETF, which follows artificial intelligence. And you can see how well this ETF did all the way up to 2022. We saw the slide again. And now 2023 and 24, we've seen a rally. So once again, just getting back to a little bit above where we were at the beginning of 22 before the market started to sell off based on interest rates rising 10, 11 times over a period of just over a year. So if you keep hearing about this idea, is tech in a bubble or is tech in a bubble? Yes, it is. I'll challenge that because in my opinion, based on earnings per share, based on I guess, where the companies are today and how they're performing and the promise of artificial intelligence and revolutionizing the way we live pretty much, I don't think we are in a bubble. I think that technology will continue to lead this market. It is the largest part of the market, as I've said many times. And I think for investors in general, if you're looking for growth, I think you need to invest in some of these big cap tech names going forward.